Hello. Today I thought I'd give you a YouTube video since you've all been asking. So we're just going to get on with that. Um, just have to check something before I get going. It looks okay. So we're going to do chapter 14, ratio and proportion, new chapter. So we're going to start off with 14.1, simplifying ratios. Now, I'm sure you've done this before in primary school. It's not too hard, but just to have a bit of practice with YouTube and the YouTube videos, I thought I'd do this one for you. So the idea of these is I'm just going to talk through everything, all the bit parts of the chapter. If you get stuck, you can just rewind and rewatch the explanation. If I go too fast, the whole great thing about a video is you can just pause, do your own working out, watch it again, anything to help you. And then we'll still have a lesson. We'll just start a bit late, and you can ask me any questions that you didn't understand there. Okay, so let's get into it. It's page 137. And I'll just go through what it all is about. So we're starting off with what is a ratio. So if you look on page 136, there's a whole big paragraph that explains lots of different things. I'm just going to sum it up. A ratio is how we compare two different amounts of things. So two different numbers or two different amounts. Here we've got the amount of green circles and the amount of red circles. And all we do is we write, well, there's 2 green circles and there's 4 red circles. And we put a ratio symbol in the middle, and that's in this symbol. It's just a colon, okay? So dot dot. This is the ratio of green to red. Okay, so we can see for every 2 green, there's 4 red. That's what this means. Now, you'll be asked to write your own ratios when you're given pictures. That's all you do. You write how many there are, ratio symbol, how many of the other thing. So here, this is the ratio of green to red. Sometimes they might ask you for red to green. And it's not actually the same answer. You've got to be careful. Green to red means you put the green one first and then the red one. Red to green, I'm sure you can guess. Oops. You put the red one first. Ratio symbol. And then the green one. So red to green is 4 to 2. Green to red is 2 to 4. Instead of saying ratio, so 2 ratio 4, you can just say 2 to 4. So I know it's 2, 2, but 2 different types of 2. 4 to 2. Okay. The thing is with ratios is if we had loads and loads of circles, it would be kind of complicated having a big ratio. So what we like to do is we like to simplify them, a bit like fractions, make them as simple as we can. So when we say for every 2 green, there's 4 red, we could say for every 1 green, there's 2 red. See here, we've split it up into something smaller. And if we wanted to keep this pattern going, every 1 green, we'd add 2 reds. Okay? So this is the ratio, and we could write it simplified as 1 ratio 2. So 1 to 2. These are both the same ratio, just like when you simplify a fraction, you get the same fraction. It's just this one's simpler. So probably better, even though they're the same, really. Okay, we'll move on then. Hopefully that's okay. We'll move on to the simplifying ratios. So we did it in the other one, but I just sort of did it. I'll explain what I'm doing now. So we have the ratio 8 to 24, and we can see there's a number that goes into both of these. Now there's actually a few numbers, but we're going to start off with the easiest way of doing this. So if you're already stuck, you can do it this way. I can just see they're both even. So the first thing I'm going to do is divide by 2, because I can tell that 2 goes into both of them. So dividing by 2. I'm going to do it the same to both sides. And 8 divided by 2 is 4. 24 divided by 2 is 12. Now I can see they're both even again, so 2 goes into both of them, so I can divide by 2. So it's just like simplifying fractions. You're wanting to get something that goes into both sides of the ratio, rather than both top and bottom of the fraction. I can do it again. It's the same process as simplifying a fraction. So you've had practice with that, so this shouldn't be too bad. And then we have to stop, because nothing goes into 1 and 3, apart from 1, but that's not going to help us. If we divide it by 1, we just get 1 and 3 again, so there's not much point doing that. So there we go, we're at our end. This is our simplified ratio. This is our answer. Now, that was a lot of steps for quite a simple question. So is there an easier way to do it? Well, yes, there is. So let's look. 8 to 24. Now, this is still correct. You can still do it this way on the left. But like I said, maybe you don't want to do all this work. It's a lot of writing. So there's a quicker way to do it. Instead of seeing they're both even and dividing by 2, we can try and find something bigger that goes into them both. So I can see 4 goes into them both. And I could divide by 4 and then keep simplifying. But there's actually something even bigger. So what we're trying to look for here is called the highest common factor. We've talked about this in the past. A factor is something that goes into the numbers. If we get the highest common factor, so the highest thing that goes into both of them, then we don't need to do lots of different steps. We can just do one step. So here the highest thing that goes into both of them, or the highest common factor, is 8. So instead of dividing by 2, divided by 2, divided by 2, we can just divide by 8. And it skips all the steps. So 8 divided by 8 is 1. 24 divided by 8 is 3. And you see we get the same answer with much less time. But it means you have to find this highest common factor. Usually you can just spot it, but sometimes it's a bit harder. So if you can't spot the highest common factor, it's fine to do it this way. Or you could even divide by 4, and then you would have to divide by 2 again. It doesn't matter if you take multiple steps, but we're looking for that shortcut if we can. Okay, and that's everything for this chapter. So a bit of a short video. The questions are on page 137. We're doing questions 1 to 5. And yeah, we'll have the lesson soon. So if you've got any questions, you can ask me then. Maybe I'll do one more example of this, just to make sure you've got it. Let's do we'll go blue, and we'll say 10 to 25. So in the other question, everything was even. It was dead easy. This time it's still hopefully pretty easy, but we can see they're not both even. So we just have to see what other number goes into both of them. And here, hopefully you can see 5 goes into 10, 5 goes into 25. So just divide by 5, both sides. And we get 2 here, and we get 5 here. So this is the final ratio. We can actually see these are both prime numbers, so we're not going to get something that goes into both of them. So we have to stop there. Yeah, so that was just another example. Try these questions. Any problems, we'll have the lesson, or you can message me on Teams, that's fine as well. Yeah, good luck.